Welcome everybody, and I'm so excited to be here. And today I'm going to talk to you about a theme that's very, very close to my heart. I believe that there's an achievable solution to harness the entrepreneurial spirit to ensure a digital livelihood for every single business in the world. So, oops, can we just... Right, so when I was 6 years old, my parents were absolutely exasperated with me for saying for the millionth time, it's just not fair. I've always had that unflinching need to stand up for what was right or what I thought was right. That sense of fairness has remained with me for every year of my life, and I've got that knot in my stomach again. It's just not fair. It's not fair that a third of the world is still not online. It's not fair that entrepreneurs in many countries are excelling in digital trade, while many are not aware of the opportunities that digital commerce can offer them. It's not fair that businesses have easy access to digital tools to set up and grow their businesses online, while others are left floundering offline. For example, in Africa, only 47% of the population has internet access, compared to 90% of Europeans and 93% of Americans, according to the latest figures from Internet World Stats, and that's as of June 2022. This is really a gap that is just far too large. And nearly 10% of the people on Earth are living in poverty in 2022, according to the UN. This is just shocking, right? So the United Nations have a 2030 agenda for sustainable development, and it's a plan of action for people, planet and prosperity to transform our world into a better place. There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Digital commerce can help us reach 2 of these goals. Imagine if there was a world with no poverty at all. That's SDG 1. Imagine if there was a future with decent work and economic growth. That's SDG 8. In a world where so much is unfair and tied to the lottery of the country that we're actually born into, borderless e-commerce can open up a whole world of opportunities. I believe everyone has a right to a digital livelihood to allow their businesses and families to flourish. This provides an opportunity to harness the innate entrepreneurial spirit that exists in so many of us to gain a consistent source of income for our businesses, our communities, and our families. There's a bonus cascade effect that's a side effect of creating even more jobs, which can increase trade at home and internationally and build businesses more sustainably and cost effectively, increasing resilience to any new global shocks. So what can we do? There is an achievable solution, I feel, that will make a difference. So I've worked in the UK with over 1,000 businesses one-to-one, and having started over 10,000 companies on their international digital journey at webinars, seminars, workshops, and masterclasses. But based on the insight I gleaned from all these companies delving into international e-commerce, I wrote my book, Grow Fast, Grow Global, 6 Steps to Unstoppable International Growth in the Digital Age, to show any business basically how to use e-commerce to boost online sales internationally, sometimes up to 10 times or more. It takes my breath away when entrepreneurs actually take this on board and they work away for weeks improving their online presence, and then they get their first online sales, especially if it's an international one. It's pure delight from both sides. I have been known to shed a tear. It's always a real turning point in their businesses. Over the past 4 years, I've taken that experience and actually been working through UN agencies with businesses and entrepreneurs in over 12 countries. You can see here like Ghana, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Zambia, Nigeria, Lebanon, State Palestine, Egypt, Jordan, Georgia, Tunisia, and Morocco. This became even more critical during the pandemic when people's livelihoods and well-being were threatened by lockdowns and curfews. So I've seen real examples of how upskilling and motivating entrepreneurs to embrace e-commerce can actually change lives in just a matter of months, really. And this is how one of our lovely ladies did it. So she had a small holding growing spinach in South Africa. And as she said, I used to sell spinach house to house, carrying it on my head. But now buyers come to me for my fresh spinach. I started a Facebook business page and advertised my products. I've stopped worrying about who will buy my products and walking around for hours every day to promote my business. I now depend on digital media. And another more established natural cosmetics company, which was trading in Ghana and Kenya, has adopted e-commerce to reach customers both at home and internationally. They've worked hard to set up local websites for each country they are targeting, and they support this with active social media and digital marketing. They've got a really good online following now, and then they've decided to move into the UK and set up a local website there. They conquered the logistics headache, which always exists, and they ship products to a local warehouse in the UK where they're selling more and more online. They're set to find new online distributors and stockists and build themselves into a truly global brand. Another entrepreneur was struggling to sell her fashion products and designer clothing online in Lebanon. She set up an online store, but was still having difficulty, but selling a piece or two. But an unexpected inquiry from the USA spotted her talent and asked her to become a designer for them. So her fledgling e-commerce shop has now transformed her into offering a service of design online and internationally. It really does show that the doors of international trade are open to every single business wherever they are in the world, if you use digital channels to do it. And it doesn't just stop at the business results. This is mindset changing as well. And this is perhaps for me the most heartwarming of all. So one of our entrepreneurs in South Africa said that this was all empowering her, so she doesn't have to depend on her IT developer that was taking shortcuts. And another said that on an emotional side, she was learning to think more out of the box and actually become more positive in her everyday life. And another said that he really needed to get over his imposter syndrome and start selling internationally online. So this is all definitely a bit more fair, right? Much more how it should be. So there's always a better way, right? There's always a better way. And there are small incremental actions that any business can take to boost their capability and online sales, and crucially have a tangible impact to improve their daily lives. We've used a combination of online learning, self-study modules, which take an entrepreneur who's never used any digital tools at all in their business, and to extend it even all the way up to selling cross-border and online. This gives everyone the understanding of what is possible to gain a digital livelihood, and then it gives them the know-how and the tools to help them get a foothold in this digital world that actually belongs to everyone. We work with them as well to overcome barriers like lack of payment methods or shipping internationally from landlocked countries. The online learning is supplemented with group and one-to-one coaching to give personalized advice on the actual next steps that each person needs to take to move them further towards their goal and to save them falling into the pit holes or go like a roundabout route. Then they have a roadmap, they have the toolkit and the motivation to help them build their businesses and thrive online and actually feel proud of what they're doing and proud of their digital presence. This, by the way, is in Rwanda over the summer with Jean-Marie from Carroll's Rwanda, the business there. So e-commerce is not really something new, and it's literally been around, probably here longer than anywhere, but in earnest for 2 decades or more for most people. And imagine what it could look like across the world in every country once the digital infrastructure, the regulation policies, logistics, payment methods, and e-commerce tools are all in place. How would it actually look? And why haven't governments stepped up and seen the benefits of digital commerce that can be bought for their businesses? International and economic development agencies like the UN, the World Bank, USAID, they're all running programs, and such are foundations like the Gates Foundations, the MasterCard Foundation as well. But it's really just a drop in the ocean. In essence, the facts are stark. They're less than 1% of overseas development assistance or aid for digital trade is spent on e-commerce, as stated in a paper for the World Economic Forum that I contributed to. Luckily, there are some pioneers with a digital entrepreneurial spirit who've taken steps into the online world to reap the opportunities that e-commerce can bring them in emerging digital economies. But there's so many more businesses who would benefit all across the globe, especially when we see that it can have such a life-changing impact in such a short period of time to boost their digital livelihoods. And if at the end of the day, if all these governments, they don't take the initiative, what are our options? Can we stand idly by any longer? Or can we all work together? We need to be part of a movement that combats this inequality. We need to be part of this movement that opens up this opportunity. Can we bring this change around, perhaps together? Let me know if you have any ideas on how we can amplify this digital opportunity to reach many more entrepreneurs, both here and abroad. And we need to get this global imbalance fixed right now so that we can pave a way for an equitable world. I firmly believe that everyone deserves a digital livelihood. Thank you.